possible, as fast as well. He's going to absorb the Renekton. That's his goal in life.
Yeah.
Honestly, that's not a great matchup for Renekton. And you'd be like, oh, well, you know, Renekton, like, he's a spellcaster and he stomps every lane he faces because he's a bully. Well, Cho'Gath walks up to him and he's like, hello, silence.
Percentage damage.
And percentage damage. And everything you want to do in life is just ruined because I'm Cho'Gath.
This is true. The only thing that you have to worry about if you're Cho'Gath, and this is a reality that most Cho'Gaths and Rumbles have in their life, where you just have your AoE trades and you push the lane naturally and you look towards your minimap, it's fairly dark, and you see an Elise pop out at you. So EDG, their game plan should be topside. That should be the case. And if Flandre walks up to trade, he might find the same fate that Mouse did in the second game.
Yep.
Where he got ganked repeatedly.
And honestly, like it has to be jungle intervention from Clearlove, because in that one-on-one, it's just going to be an even matchup, essentially, for Mouse and Flandre. It does mean, like, on item breakpoints, then it could be pretty good for Mouse. I'd expect to see a Blade of the Ruin King, honestly, from him. But this is an invade coming in.
Oh, here we go.
War, didn't even see him. Where's the hook out from Mako?
No, he's probably taken his E, his flay.
He's taken it, yeah.
He's taken it.
Okay, so that's absolutely fine from SOFM. Just slows him down a couple seconds.
It also means that he's going to be a little bit lower. He's not too low, but after taking blue buff and perhaps Wolf Camp, he will not be able to get onto the map and expect to win any bit of trading out of Clearlove here. So his mentality at this point is probably just farm up and call for his top end mid lane to just kind of concede pressure.
Just a bit of trading down in the bottom lane, not too much to write home about, but I honestly think the big lane we should be looking at, as we've already mentioned it like 5 times already, it's top lane. That's going to be the junglers getting involved. But that being said, Clearlove started on top side to path towards the bottom lane.
Yeah, this is interesting in the sense that Clearlove did have 2 options towards both top and bottom lane because of the Thresh. He's taken option B and probably tricked SOFM. SOFM was the one who passed towards the top side, and if he looks for a counter gank, he's going to be wasting his time. I like what I see coming out of Clearlove, but that's a proper ward, actually.
Yep, good stuff from Clearlove. He'll take away this Raptor camp.
Whoa!
What a flay from Mako. That will force out the cleanse in from Crystal.
That's something we did have to actually talk about. Usually you see the barrier coming out of the AD carry if we have a Janna Ardent Sensor lane. This time around it was a cleanse because he knew the pick potential coming out of both Elise and Thresh was going to make it needed.
And Renekton late game as well. You know, the flashing Renekton with Ruthless Predator.
Yep. It's a good pickup.
It really is, and actually just saved his bacon right there as well. Clearlove has spotted SOFM in his jungle. What are you doing here? I feel like this may be first blood for me. Oh, Clearlove. Oh, that was spicy. I appreciate that. I really like that from SOFM.
Yeah, we knew where he was going. He immediately started to base too, hoping that he went towards the opposite direction or tried to flash over the wall. Clearlove's not going to be doing that.
I actually think that it was the auto attack that gave him away, because the auto attack from Clearlove was in the air and followed him into the bush. I think may have given that one away, but Crystal's going to take a bunch of damage in the bottom lane once again.
I wonder if he flashes up for an auto attack. I mean, there's heal on Hoodie, so that would be an awful idea. But
or would it?
Oh.
When the shield's down. Yeah, just back away. It's not even worth it, like, because you're basically just banking on Hoodie's reaction times at that point.
Especially since Hoodie uses his shield really early on. That's going to be on cooldown, and he has no mana, so Crystal's like, all right, none of that.
Back it up.
Peace. I don't want to have you use your heal summoners too.
Absolutely not, but this gives a really nice back timing over to iBoy and Mako.
Yeah, and that's a cannon wave as well. Actually, coming towards a cannon wave is not too punishing, just because the aggro is immediately on that wave. Unless if Sejuani takes the entire wave. Wait a minute.
Let's go back to the bottom lane, because SUFM, the taxman, has arrived.
Why is he taxing the wave? He actually could have been able to take 50% of that. He lost the entire wave because the jungler came out. I'm out. I'm completely upset.
Well, at least SOFM will win the race to 6.
Yeah, exactly. He is. He's going to be in a good spot.
Just left his bot lane out to dry. Oh, no.
Oh.
Clearlove's here. Don't mess with my Lucian.
He has double buffs, too, so there's no way this 2v2 is going to be in favor of Snake at all. Much better for Elise and Lucian, and the double buffs are going to tip that one over even more.
I want to see that top lane so bad, but we haven't seen it at all this game. so far.
Ooh.
Hello, Clearlove. We're getting the health back, but it's the gold going down at SOFM, and he is in real... Oh!
Beautiful.
The old switcheroos. The tie did not see that coming.
Mm-hmm. Actually, what did he repel to? Was that a ward? What
No,
was
he
that?
repelled to the tie.
Okay, yeah, all right. That's fair. I was
Yeah.
wondering because I was like, I didn't see it coming, but yeah. On to the
The
tie.
tie carried on walking. It was like, oh.
Very sad. That was a good play from Snake to bring in Hoodie as well, but they're going to pay a lot for that because they didn't get the kill onto Clearlove. They thought they were going to be able to get the jump onto him. They didn't even blow his flash either, so Hoodie's going to come in back into that lane at a level disadvantage.
Clearlove's just back into the jungle. Whoa, what the? Okay, that's some damage out from Elise.
Get
Don't
outta
stick
here.
around, SOFM. Second rotation from Clearlove's going to kill you.
And he's laughing at him. Wait, who was that laugh from? That's not from Elise.
No,
That's
that's from SOFM. That's the
Ah,
Johnny's
okay.
laugh.
That's
Actually, from watching SOFM in this series, I'm 90% certain he's bound laugh to recall.
Okay.
Because every time he recalls, he laughs. So
Okay, that's fair. And there's also that change in which if you do base, there are certain animations. Maybe this is that laugh. That's my expectation. I don't know.
he's done it on 3 different champions now. I'm almost certain that he's found it.
I'm trying to give him some leeway, but here comes the TP on the spider lane.
Yeah, that's pretty creative. And comes Mouse, he wants some blood.
Oh, this is going to take some time. They need to wait for this wave. The wave finally hit.
Check SOFM though, he's coming into this fight. Doesn't have the ultimate, and Hoodie explodes. Crystal jumps over this one. It did have the cleanse back. Down comes Clearlove, needs to get him out of dodge, but he's going to have to flash away. He's stunned up, but Flandre can't get in range, and neither can Crystal.
Yeah, Clearlove barely gets out of there, but they did their job. They blew up Hoodie. And you know what? Flandre gets absolutely no advantage off that because he tried to TP to get something out of it as well. So if he'd stayed in the lane, of course, he would have been able to get some more CS underneath him. But regardless, him TPing was a good idea because he saved his Crystal. Uh-oh.
Flandre decided to stick around. Only is going to be the knockup onto Mako, and iBoy is not letting you get away unscathed, Flandre.
You know, Flandre needs to base. He's basing at the wrong spot. No, he's not going to
He's
get
very
canceled.
delayed.
Okay, yeah, so him getting to the top side is going to take some time. Neither top laners have TP because they did TP to the fight, so that just means that Renekton's going to be able to push out the wave quickly, deny some minions, and then probably look to ward out the blue buff that is up and available for Snake.
It's actually a pretty big swing in the top lane because that top lane was, for the most part, equal. And now the fact that Mouse has gotten there and probably had a good 30 seconds in terms of tempo advantage, he's going to open up that gap between him and Flandre. And he got the kill from that trade as well. So this has only really just accelerated that Renekton.
Yeah, it's a big win for him. And the blue buff trade is immediately happening, so EDG is focused. They recognize and they're making the best use out of that big tempo on the top side. Did they take blue? Yes, they
Yep,
did.
Clearlove got it.
So there we go. You give them one, like just a small advantage, be it the push on top lane because someone got canceled in their basing, or at least was just staying far too long. Immediately, you lose blue buff off of that. EDG just making it so you actually lose so much off of one mistake.
Quite problematic. SOFM is trying to turn this into something known in the top lane. This is dangerous because Mouse has his Dominus.
They don't have a way to pin Mouse here. SOFM has his ulti, and that would be all.
I should say he will have his Dominus when the dive happens. Mouse is sticking around, and in comes Clearlove from behind him as well. Stun came down onto SOFM.
It's the problem for Snake. They're getting cut down in terms of tempo because they're not able to auto-attack the turret in unison. And they're losing the bottom lane tower.
I mean, this looks like a very different EDG from Game 2 here, Raz. Played very, very differently. And also, that double kill didn't happen on Mouse in the early game, which, you know, is pretty big.
There we go.
But they have played very, very well in this early game. Have the tower advantage, have the kill advantage, have the tempo advantage. And now, what else can they turn it into?
Take a look at this. Sure, iBoy is seeing off this, but they can't really do anything to stop him. The fact that he's able to take a look at the jungle here, put down some wards, EDG use their bottom lane push and shove, just to get extra vision to see if the Sidrani is going to be on that side of the map at all. And then immediately look to rotate towards this top side of the map.
Now, mid lane's equal, but top lane is starting to equalize as well, actually. It seems like Flandre got into the bottom lane with a nice juicy wave there, so that's quite good for him. And Mouse is now only just recalling as the duo lane is ready to tag in.
It's a good spike coming in from iBoy. If he can get here on time, he's got his wit's end, so he's in a good spot to sit and spit.
And this is just really awkward for Snake because while they've gotten the tower low, it's just going to take them so long to get back up to that tower now that the duo lane's there, so they're never going to be able to knock it down unless something goes horrifically wrong. And iBoy, he's got his items back again, Mako! What a flay! Forces the flash from Crystal.
Mako's a boss, especially when he's on this Thresh pick. And this means so much for Crystal because now he has to base. He's going to lose a lot of damage on that turret. Thankfully, Elise is not on that side of the map, or at least that would be a casualty towards this turret. But it's feeling bad for Crystal because he's getting really bad base timings. He has to go get the double daggers. Before that, he had to get the pickaxe when he had the initial basing. He has Cull. These are all bad items for himself, and he's going up against a Wit's End for the Kog'Maw. So once he finally comes back into the lane, he needs help to be able to push that tower down.
And that's all just based off of Mako being an absolute monster. Like, that's the third time I think I've seen him flay Tristana out of his rocket jump. Like, giving Mako Thresh, it can be quite dangerous.
Ooh. Oh, they've seen him.
I've seen him now because he just stepped out of the brush, but he's just like, he probably doesn't really want this play. We also don't know where SUFM is.
Exactly.
It looks like they saw him path into that jungle because they have a ward on that jungle entrance, so I think they knew he was around, and Zatai's collapsing top lane.
Oh, they're staying a little bit too long, but they do have Lantern. Get out of there!
I play nice. He's got on lockdown. Will be the kills on the towers traded up here though, and I don't think that EDG have taken anything on the rest of the map as Clear went back to base, and Mouse is pushed up in the bottom lane.
Yeah, but the problem is the fact that they need these many members to be able to get that kind of result. They needed essentially the entire team, save for Flandre, to be able to get that tower, just because it's hard enough in the 2v2 with how Crystal's playing this one out. So, that being said, Scouts being able to get solo farm underneath them, sitting under this mid lane tower, so Scout's in a pretty good position, especially with blue buff.
Scout coming in here, drops the disco ball, and he's not really feeling it right now. He's going to back away from the stance.
But he has the sustain from the potion that he's chugging, and of course from the Bilgewater Cutlass. So with Zatai not having mana, having used his ulti, he needs to base, and that's alone time for him in the mid lane tower.
It would be nice if we could pick this one up. Clear and Mouse have arrived, so taking mid lane tower for free would be quite good. SUFM is going to come into this mid lane, but nope, this is already gone. Good rotation from EDG.
And it's very easy to be able to get that done just because Scout's been playing this lane well. So finally getting to his item break points where he's able to just walk up to Zatai and just output that kind of damage. So Zatai's been struggling just a bit. It's not helping that he's rotating to the team plays, like that top lane play. Now he has to start focusing on his own well-being, especially with no tower behind him.
And just a little bit awkward for Snake because they are gradually falling behind. It's easy to keep on making these really nice plays. And at the end of the day, there's a Kog'Maw, and yes, you have a Tristana, but we've seen how this story goes. You know, Snake wanted to scale. They have a Tristana, a Janna composition, Zatai in the mid lane for wave clear. Like, very, very clear what Snake were looking for. But EDG, you know, they had the better early game picks. That went well for them.
Yep.
They have a Kog'Maw.
That's true. And at the very least, they can rest well knowing that it's not going to be the same monster Maw that we saw getting Arden censored. So he's going to have to work for his stats the hard way. He has a 30 CS advantage, so he's actually been putting in a lot of work. So sure, he's going to still be able to output damage, but it still creates an counterplay measure for Snake, knowing that it's going to be a lot easier for them to just jump on top of iBoy if that opportunity presents itself. Also,
at least you know, there's no Ardent Sensor pickup here as well, so it's not like he's just like spiked insanely hard right now. I mean, the Wit Sensor is nice, but it's not the same.
Exactly.
So that is good, but Mako brings another threat with him this time, and it is the hooks.
Well, a lot of pings on the top side of the map. This is EDG making a play to get this inner turret, knowing that the rest of Snake and Crystal and Hoodie are just not there.
Finally, pushing him away though. Hits the Righteous Glory, and you know he's got Feast, so clearly dangerously in range of that damage nuke. But minion wave and 4 members. Just Flash is doing a very good job of delaying them and buys time for Janna to arrive.
Oh.
Zephyr wanted him. Zephyr was going.
He's going to get him.
Alright, top lane has been diffused there by Snakes. That was real nice. I believe they took a tower on the bot side as well.
Alright, so at least they get some gold underneath them. But right now, EDG, it feels like that was an investment for them, being able to chip that tower that low. So, Sure, that's not going to turn into anything like of monetary value, but just means that if iBoy, the rest of EDG, get a nice team fight underneath them, they should be able to get a lot, especially with not so much Baron, but they're getting a ping onto the Rift Herald being on the map. So take Rift Herald, send them topside and go mid. Seems like a strategy for EDG to go towards.
Yeah, get that Herald. That's also a very easy... If Herald starts the charge, Tau goes down in top lane. And also they can play in 2 lanes at that point, and that is then a pressure point. So yeah, this has all been a setup from EDG.
Yeah, that being said, it's going to be on Snake to look for a counterplay. Now, SFM has done a great job. Yeah, actually, going into that, he's actually going onto Mouse right now. That shouldn't turn into much. But ultimately, SFM has done a great job in the series beforehand, being able to be that flanking pressure. Now he has Sejuani with that Glacial Prison. He might be able to stop the push coming from EDG once they actually set that down.
That is the hope. That is the dream. I actually wonder what Mouse is going to go towards now. He might go towards the Blade of the Ruin King because he'll be laning into Flandre and also needs to trunk down SUFM.
Maybe. I would say Titanic Hydra. So going into the Tiamat into Titanic would be fun. Of course, that's a boring response. Once again, I'm not going to give you any exciting ones. But just being the extra tanky force, so they have options to team fight, is a lot better, especially with the Kog'Maw Lucian pickup. They can 1-3-1, but if they go towards the Blade of the Ruin King, he's sad. If they go towards the Blade of the Ruin King, then it doesn't feel like he can join the team and be a real force with them. Yeah.
You're right. There is already a lot of damage on the team. It's not like you need more when you have Elise, Lucian, and Kog'Maw. And you have the pick potential anyway, so... Scout getting caught in the mid lane though. Oh, great Lantern. And that Crystal is in very deep. The flash up from Mako. Hook lands onto the Janna, and Hootie may die for his sins right here. No, he just back it up. Nice ult from SOFM. Oh, the Viking Mouse though chases after onto Zatai, and he chose the wrong route. Though it seems like the rest of the team may be under attack as well.
But this is pretty big. 17 minutes into the game. Zatai down and Rift Herald being placed down. This turns into, could be 1, could be 2 towers for EDG.
I think at the very least it's going to be 1 here. Though, I look at the health bars of Crystal and Hootie and they're rather low. Flandre has turned up, however, and mid lane tower will at least fall. Mouse gets a stun down, and you're definitely in a little bit too deep there, my friend. Scout will be falling. And that says to me it's at least just going to be that 1 tower. Whoa, Mouse also exposed to Crystal. So that was probably best case scenario out from Snake there.
Great comeback from Snake. Well, honestly, Scout was trying to take the Lantern, but there were too many bodies on top of it. There was no way for him to do so. So, pretty great oversight coming in from EDG. They wanted the fight, but it's kind of hard to get any damage down on a tanky Cho'Gath with Janna healing him up.
I mean, we just went Lucian spotting right there, Raz. He definitely dashed into them. He didn't dash at an angle, didn't dash away, dashed into them. And when there was a silence, well, you can't get back out again with your flash. So Flandre will punish him on that front. It means that Snake will also get themselves a dragon, and it is a mountain one as well. It is one that is highly prized. See how that one all started off.
This is a while back when Crystal was the one going Tristana spotting, so gets played away. And this was a really poor from Snake. Janna lost her life, not now, but the TP coming through. Actually, that was onto Zatai. So Zatai ended up losing his life for that. And a lot of HP was burned on the rest of the team. So it looked really poor from Snake. Now this is why we're going to be fast forwarding this one, because the Rift Herald going down, this looked incredible for EDG. In fact, I would say shut your eyes, EDG takes the game. That's not what happens just because they dive far too deep on a Cho'Gath that's getting healed up. You said it was Lucian spotting. He ended up dying for it.
He definitely did. Definitely do not dash into the enemy team when they have Cho'Gath's W still available. But still, mid lane tower down. EDG are ahead in terms of gold. It was just ultimately 2 kills that went down onto Snake plus the dragon. And while that's not optimal, it's still them pulling ahead.
Yeah, so right now, with the map being this large, EDG can start to look towards killing the vision towards the red side jungle. You can see that happening right now. Once Baron starts to spawn in about 3 seconds, quite honestly, they can actually pivot towards the blue side jungle. It's going to be super hard for Snake to actually get any vision down. They only have 1 blue trinket. Zatai should definitely change that before we even get there.
Nice dodge and good Lantern overall from Mako. He still buffers out the Q, and Cho'Gath meant to be tanky, but put down. SUFM did not want to take that pathing. He'll dash back towards his team, and the kill on the tank may signal EDG Baron time.
Yeah, really unfortunate timing for Flandre to die for that one. They tried to get the fight, and EDG could actually move towards the Baron, but that's exactly what Snake would expect them to, so they're trying to use the vision to their advantage.
Yes, keep feeding his wards. There's a ward graveyard. Oh, why would you be there, SOFM? You knew.
He's probably wondering why they were there. To be fair to him, he's like, just get to Baron already.
Raz,
please.
But they cleared out literally 4 wards in the same place.
Yes.
Like,
you know what? It was the Renekton who did it. I'm just saying, this is a great play for EDG to just sit here. Mako's playing Prison Warden.
yeah, you stay away.
Oh, they found
Scout with me as well. Okay, this time didn't flay out. He was actually expecting Crystal to jump down into the jungle, not back towards the mid lane.
Exactly. It seems like they've been kind of tunneling on the fight, but they actually lost an opportunity to go towards Baron.
That's true, actually, yeah. So overall, they don't get that one. And Clearlove, he's got 4 kills, and usually we'd be saying, oh, this is a bad number, but he's on Elise. He's not on Rek'Sai, so yeah, I think EDG still have this game for themselves.
Yeah, that's true. But we have to think about kind of that late game presence that Snake has. So if EDG keep playing with their food on this one, then they will start to really have to address the issue that is Victor once he gets Lich Bane, the Cho'Gath once he just starts feasting on numerous objects. Ultimately, Snake will get to a point where they can stand up against you, and sure, the game is incredibly early on. It's still 22 minutes into the game, but they can't find themselves making the mistakes like this really early on.
Well, that's true. Cogmore. So we'll get to that later.
That's fair, but I feel like that's the only thing they have. And it's going to be a little easier for Snake to say, try and find a way to flank with Sejuani, or maybe we can still be confident in our front to back with Zatai and Crystal being that front force, and hope. We saw in that last fight, didn't look good for Cho'Gath, but hope that Cho'Gath has gotten to a point where he can deal with the Kog'Maw for much longer than EDG dealing, or at least with, So that's going to be a big focus for me, because Renekton should be shredded in the next team fights by the Victor and by the Tristana.
Yeah, and it looks like it will be the Titanic Hydra as well, so Mouse has gone for very much a team fight build, which makes sense, because at this point in the game, he's only really been playing with the team. We've never really seen a split pusher from actually either team. Flandre doesn't have teleport at this point in time as well, so it's not like he can.
Yeah, Mouse was trying to at one point, but you know, you see TP opportunities like that with proper wards that EGG's placing, and you just use them. Like that one right there, that's an incredible one. So you can just see Mouse, who has TP, can make use of that.
Once again, good Lantern, and Flandre getting caught out will take a bunch of damage.
Wow. At this point, you'd think that Cho'Gath would look to invest in the Warmogs with how much hurt he gets in a lot of these skirmishes.
It's true, yeah, Warmogs would be the premier item choice. Drawing Flandre to the bottom lane, Mouse will beat him over time, I think, because he doesn't have that percentage damage that he would have had if he had the Blade of Ruin King, so might be a little bit difficult to push into Flandre now. However, one has a teleport, and the other one does not.
Yeah. That being said, I think at this point in time, Mouse's priority should be having distance away from Flandre, funny enough, just so he can get those TP flanks in favor of EDG. Unfortunately, they're on a ward. It's kind of unlucky. There we go.
SOFM's going for the Oscar. He's checking the brush next to him, but he knows full well where EDG are.
Yep. Can't play that game with me. But the same threat still weighs on Snake's mind that a flank TP can happen. That being said, Renekton's left to his own devices. Cho'Gath just got caught on the mid lane ward. I would have wanted Cho'Gath to start autoing the bottom lane turret, but he's taking the Krugs instead. Not a good idea. Perhaps he's gotten towards his Titanic. He's backing now.
Yeah, Renekton may have just no. He's actually turning into this one. I guess he just wanted to see the disengage out from Snake to make sure it was just really safe. Yeah, clearly was going to take this one under the radar as well, so the map has gone black for Snake. Bottom tower eventually falls courtesy of Mouse.
There we go. Job done from him. EDG's taking a lot just because there's no vision for Snake to respond with anything. They can't respond with a quick Baron because they didn't even know that Clearlove was on this side of the map.
Mounted Dragon going over to EDG, so actually makes the play onto Baron that much easier for them. Having also an Infernal Dragon means they have so much shred now.
Yeah, and immediately off that, Mouse eventually gets the back and he has his Titanic. So he's already has his 2 items. Spike, EDG are online, maybe they want to wait a little bit for Gwinsus to be on iBoy, but with how many members are currently on their spikes, I feel like they should just go for it now.
I agree, Raz, but EDG, they could theoretically just wait for another 5-6 minutes.
They could.
They don't necessarily have to pull the trigger right here, which is why they're playing so slowly.
You can just see with the observer, whoo, all right.
It was all based on Mako hitting that hook.
Very unfortunate that the TP went through. Yeah, you're right.
That was just faith.
Exactly. That was pure faith in the fact that he was going to hit those hooks because he has been doing a great job. It's going to force Mouse to come over. But you can see with the observer kind of flipping the vision on and off that Snake have no idea where EDG is once they fade into the darkness that is the Baron Pit. Or at least the river, that is.
Luckily, because that was a cancel on the teleport, it would be 3 minutes until Mouse's teleport is back up instead of the full 5, so EDG will be able to play around that.
That may be true, but these are still damaging 3 minutes. That's why they're just going to be bringing Mouse with them so they can actually start upon this. It's a change in strategy for EDG. Don't hit the blast cone.
Hook lands from Mako. They're going all in on this one as well. The CC chain is good, but the blast cone knocks him over the wall, but Scout is still there. He flashes for this one. Ruthless Predator, another flash from SUFM. Ring around the rosy, but eventually Scout's going to find you with a culling. EDG turn on towards the Baron.
And just like that job is done, flame straight towards an opportunity so you can just pop them into your team. Down goes the jungler. Down goes the smite. Cho'Gath is the only opportunity they have in taking this Baron.
Good hook once again onto Flandre, but you can see all the burn damage out from Zatai. iBoy gets knocked back and fade away kill for Crystal. He's going in, comes in for the reset, gets that one kill. He's got to turn it back around on turn for 2 versus 1. Crystal cutting away. Zatai doing what he can with the gravity field. Again, the zone is good. Clearly falls, looking for the 5th kill of the fight. Crystal comes in and gets the ace.
Reset after reset. Zatai being able to get that kill gave him the assist. Crystal hopping all over the place. It looks like Snake can take this dragon. Just kidding. Baron.
Little bit better than the dragon on this one, Raz.
Tiny bit.
Just a little bit, and Crystal will get this one. He's going to have to tank it, though, because the rest of his team is heavily wounded. But still, Snake winning that fight is huge for them.
What a great comeback. I know we're going to have to take a replay on that one because you'd have to look towards what went wrong with EDG.
4 versus 5.
They had the members in doing this, but you look towards them inching forward. The Ray that came through, of course, being able to damage a little bit, but it was all in Cho'Gath, allowing the rest of his team to walk up. Sure, he dies immediately, but that gave the confidence of both Victor and Crystal to do the damage. And sure, Clearlove walking into the bush gave him a little bit more time and baiting for Crystal not to get the reset, but that gets the job done. He gets the hop onto Scout, and that's it.
That's all she wrote. Snake with all of those kills, 5 kills. Oh, good hook though, but there's no one really there for Mako. It's a little too soon. He'll have to flash away from this play, and iBoy explodes. Flandre has turned up now with his 4-item build. Mouse knocked up, so is Clearlove. He falls, 2nd kill, 3rd kill. Flandre dragged in, but it's a 2 versus 3 now. Zatai being zoned away, and SUFM, who also died in that fray.
Just like that, Snake have the gold lead and are just in the driver's seat.
This is absolutely absurd from Snake. They're turning this all around in just one play, Raz. It could be an inhibitor right here.
20 seconds on Clearlove and Mouse. 13 on iBoy. This is gone.
This is absolutely done. They'll go back to base now. Their pockets lined with gold. That was a huge swing from Snake, now pulling 3,000 gold in the head.
Here's the thing. We talked about EDG having this early game strength, save for the Kog'Maw. But if you have that weak of a front line and Renekton, you still have an early game. That's it. You get outscaled by the Victor, Tristana, Cho'Gath, and Sejuani. That's just the case here. And we got to see it in that team fight where EDG had such a massive early game lead, but they just couldn't handle Flandre being able to be in front of them. And of course, Crystal and Zatai getting the items necessary to just kind of dictate the fight.
Yep. iBoy just exploded. He doesn't have the same peel as if a Janna were on his team. So, yeah, Flandre, whenever he has Flash, whenever he has Righteous Glory, he's going to get on top of that Kog'Maw. And now that he's finished Gargoyles, he's probably going to one-shot him.
That's true. Doesn't feel good if you're iBoy at this point of the game.
Doesn't feel good if you're iBoy. Doesn't feel good if you're EDG, about to lose this series to Snake. cannot understate how important this is for Snake as a team, as an organization, to get this win right here on their lead up towards playoffs in the LPL. And a lot of it could ride on this next fight we're about to see, because as the tower crumbles, moving on to the inhibitor, that dream is becoming more and more of a reality.
They're just brute forcing this.
Flandre chasing after, looking to get the stun down on top of him. iBoy, big threat towards Snake, but they don't necessarily have to stick around. Crystal needs to get out of there. Good healing out from Hoodie, the perfect time. Hoodie still has his heal on top of that. They back away.
Yeah, they just couldn't chase up against them, even with Crystal kind of getting down to double-digit HP. This game is getting a little bit ridiculous. just a tiny bit.
Just a little bit.
Just a tiny bit.
The smallest.
Snake are able to do this much. It's making it awkward for Clearlove, for Mouse to be able to walk up and do much at all, because right now, Flandre is just too much of a force to deal with. And it's allowing Zatai and Crystal to just kind of walk up and run rough shot.
This suddenly becomes a very intense game from an early game that EDG had. They had control, they had the towers, they had the tempo, they had the kills, they had absolutely everything that you would need for a team to win the game out. Especially with EDG. We've seen them convert from the early game to the mid to the late and actually get those wins out, but Snake have managed to upset that momentum in that one play around Baron, and following that are actually looking to take the game right here.
Take a look at the range that Crystal has. Easily able to just dodge out on Mako's hook. Right now he's level 15, close to level 16. Draw B is doing a lot of work for him. He's going to have the range to honestly not be touched by anyone on EDG. And it's all on the hook on Mako, all on Clearlove getting a cocoon. These are very key for EDG to be able to get anything in these fights.
Man, that seeding potential of Tristana at this point in the game is absolutely nutty. SUFM off to the side. Flandre jumps into the front line, so he wants to get out of this. Good hook from Mako. The flash after. What is that damage onto iBoy? He will sacrifice himself though, and Mouse looking for the defense with the rest of his team.
Here's the thing. SOFM has Warmog, so even though the two of them, both Clearlove and Mouse, were on top of him, he's back to full HP. So EDG can't even chase that up. With no Flandre, they still can't win that fight.
That is disgusting. Well, Flandre will go back to the base and just pick up more health, and that was almost 100 to 0. So if he gets anything more, if he picks up a Warmogs, if he had a Warmogs right now, that would be a legitimate one-shot.
Yeah, let's see what item he's got himself.
Well, with the Ruby Crystal, it could go into a myriad of different items, but one of those items is Warmogs.
That's true. That's true. And you have to expect that it is a Warmogs. Highest HP item in the game. That's the worst thing. You want to be able to combine that into your Gargoyle Stone Plate. And so if the man just flashes at it, he doesn't have a flash right now. But if he's on top of Kog'Maw, the guy is dead.
No, it's definitely a Warmogs. Yeah.
He just keeps upgrading more items.
Alright, Dragon down. And honestly, we're just waiting on Baron. 1 minute left until that one for Snake.
And remember, these are 2 inhibs down in favor of Snake. They can actually just go towards the top lane. They don't have to even worry about the Baron. It's nice. They'll do it anyways. But theoretically, they just have so much lane pressure in both bot lane and mid lane that all of this is secondary.
Just sweeping the jungle, seeing if they can catch anyone who happens to be there from EDG. Just makes the Baron even easier for them, but regardless, they won't really be taking damage for it because Flandre and SUFM just gigantic balls of stats at this point in time.
It's getting scary. You already see
getting scary. I think we're already deep in the woods at this point.
Yeah, it's pretty scary. It's pretty scary. They don't even want to go deep in the woods right now. The woods are scary. There are no wards in that by those trees. Oh God! Legitimately, if you look into your, if you're midnight looking into your bedroom closet, creepy crawlies. Get them out of there.
Bed bugs ready to bite. Oh no! Don't walk towards that side of the lane, Scout.
It's good damage.
Is it?
Any bit of damage is good damage.
Need more. More damage. Bring more oil.
And it's all on SOFM's range and his ulti, because he can just throw a longer distance. Even if he gets Mako, they'll just jump at him.
This is so tense. Red buff goes down to iBoy.
And while the mid lane inhibitor spawned, the bot lane has not yet. they still have to worry about that inhib.
Flandre front line, hook lands from Mako. If they can burn him out, which they do, EDG is starting off this fight well. Zatai explodes, but look at the Nexus. They're on a timer. EDG may have to disengage from this one just because of the minions.
But the key members of Snake are still available in both the jungler and the AD carry. If EDG leave, that could be Baron to Snake.
Tower dead. Someone needs to recall for this, but they've actually full committed. EDG are onto the Baron. Need to burn this extremely quickly. Needs to make sure this 5 vs 3 goes well for them. Baron down, but now the goal from Snake is obviously to stop these recalls. Crystal leading the charge, but that's the ultimate going wide from SUFM. Crystal falls for that sin. Hootie over the wall, and Scout is chasing him down. There is no way he'll get... Oh, knocks him away. Yes, with the Monsoon right there, and Scout will be following him down still to stop these recalls, but still, that was a Nexus turret falling, so EDG need to make sure that this Baron is worth it.
Yeah, that's another shift in the tempo. 30 seconds on Crystal. May not mean too much since EDG still has to deal with their base. But good God, that was just mechanical outplay after mechanical outplay.
It's very unfortunate SOFM's ultimate just went so wide there!
Oh no!
Zatai.
50-second death timer on Zatai.
Absolute, just a massive blunder from him, and that may have just ended the game right there.
Crystal's coming up in 5. SOFM in 1.
EDG are looking for it. They see the game in their sights. Cocoon misses. SOFM working on that front line, building the barricade.
That's the fight.
Again, the hook onto the Cho'Gath. He can't get in range. He looks for the feast, but he'll drop it onto the Renekton and trade 1 for 1. Crystal, this might be enough of a defense here from Snake to live one more day.
There's just too long of a death timer on Victor. 20 seconds. They can stay for this.
EDG bearing down on them. 3 vs 4. Crystal stepping up.
When is Glacial Prison going to be used?
Minion wave coming in. We're looking for that ult from SOFM. Tower about to drop. There it is, onto the front line. But look at Scout. Look at iBoy. Not touched just yet. Flash out. They're focusing onto the Nexus, and EDG do it! They take down the Nexus and win the series.
What a hard-fought win. But Snake